fight, trying to see where the life take me, so I roll the dice. Look up to no one else, but yeah, I was shy. I got real power, Hebrew Israelite.
Calm. Kwam Yeshua. All praise to the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Let's kick it off with Isaiah 19 and verse number 16 and Isaiah chapter 13 and verse number 1. And somebody give me the book of Acts chapter 19 and verse number 22. Hey brother, amigo, how you doing, amigo? You see yourself in the sun?
You broke it down to me before, man.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah, I think you do look kind of familiar. But let's read this.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 19, verse 22.
Read Isaiah first, Isaiah 13.
Book? Isaiah 13 or 19? It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, and verse 16.
Read out.
In that day shall Egypt be like unto women,
Right.
and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand.
Because of the what?
Because of the shaking of the hand.
What are we doing?
Because of the shaking of the hand.
Right. And we shaking our hand upon Babylon the Great,
Right.
upon Egypt. Why? Because you have a bunch of wicked festivities and festivals going on right now. Hey sisters, y'all got 1 minute for the Lord? 1 minute for God? Right, so you have a lot of wickedness going on in Babylon.
Right.
You got the spirit of Lollapalooza in the land, a whole bunch of homosexuality, Edomites sticking up their middle finger walking down the street.
Madness.
So it's a whole bunch of confusion in Babylon the Great. Right? You got homosexual, you got men freaking off with other men.
Right.
You have fornication going on right now.
Right.
You have men getting ready to break the Sabbath
Right.
just to listen to so-called what's his name? Lil Durk, Chris Brown, these big celebrities. So the Lord commanded us to come out and to shake the hand.
Right.
Why? Because Babylon is on its way out. Egypt is on its way out. Right? Read that. So read that last part again.
And it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand.
Right. And that's why we got to shake the hand, because you got sodomites.
Right. Right.
Nasty sodomites on Michigan Avenue. Read on.
Because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts.
Of the who?
Of the Lord of hosts.
What name are we coming in?
Of the Lord of hosts.
Right. And we come in the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua.
Right.
Of the Lord of hosts, the King of kings and the Lord of lords. Let's get Revelation chapter 19 and verse number 12. Verse 13. Read this.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 19, verse 22.
Break it out.
And he sent into Macedonia 2 of them that ministered unto him,
Right.
Timotheus and Esdras.
Right.
But he himself stayed in Asia for a season.
Right.
And the same time there arose no small stir about that way.
Right.
For a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, which made silver shrines for Diana,
Right.
brought no small gain unto the craftsmen, whom he called unto together, the workmen of like occupation, and said, Sirs, ye know that by this way craft we have our wealth. Moreover, ye see and hear that not alone is Ephesus, but almost throughout all Asia, this Paul had persuaded and turned away.
Right. So it said this Paul Paul was going crazy in Ephesus. Paul was shaking the hand in Ephesus. Why? Because you had men like this. Hey brothers, y'all got 1 minute for the Lord? 1 minute to learn how to repent and stop being homosexuals.
Right.
It's madness, man. Y'all have to do something about that. And America's judgment is all off. You got police officers going for it, ready to protect them. That's madness.
Right.
How you doing, sis? You see yourself on the sun?
Tilt it.
Word. This place is fine. The top one. Now, do you believe in the Bible? You do believe in the Bible? Did you know that the Bible is a so-called book for Black history?
Right.
The Bible is not a book of religion. You said what? That's right. Did you grow up in church or anything like that? You did. Now in church, what did they teach you about the Bible? What did you learn in church? Well, first let me ask you this: how many years was you in the church? 13. 5 to 13. So surely you will know something from being 5 years old to 13 years old in the church.
Right.
What did the church teach you? Not much. Now, why do you think the church didn't teach you anything about the Lord?
Right.
was more that prosperity, make you feel good. But again, the Bible is not a book of just to make somebody feel good and a book of religion.
Right.
This Bible is actually a book of black history. I'm gonna show you that. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and verse number 68. The Lord deals with something called prophecy. Prophecy is when the Lord says something and then years later it happens. Have you heard about the transatlantic slave trade? You have? The transatlantic slave trade was actually prophesied in the Bible before it happened. Where he said the Israelites, so-called black people, will go into slavery by way of slave ships. Now let's read this.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68.
Yeah.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Exodus 20 and 2. So the Lord said he's going to bring our people into Egypt again. Now you said that you read, you said you know about a little bit about the Bible, right? So you know what our people were doing in ancient Egypt under Pharaoh? How you doing, brother? I'm alright. Nice to meet you, brother. Marcos. So in ancient Egypt, we were in slavery, in captivity. So what I'm showing to the sister is that in the Bible, you read about our history. Now we just go to Deuteronomy 28 again, real quick.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So the Lord's going to bring us back into Egypt. Egypt is another word for slavery.
Right.
All throughout history, you see our people getting put into slavery and in captivity day in and day out, as you see these signs. So let's read this real quick. Exodus 20 and 2.
It's the book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse number 2.
Yeah.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
So the Lord brought us out of Egypt. We're about to read what the Lord calls the land of Egypt. Read on.
Out of the house of bondage.
So the Lord calls Egypt the house of bondage.
Right.
Bondage is another word for slavery.
Right.
So when we read, let's go back to Deuteronomy 28. The Lord said he brought us out of Egypt, meaning he brought us out of slavery. Now read that again from the top.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So the Lord is going to bring us back into Egypt, meaning back into what? Huh? Bondage, that's right. Back into bondage. Back into slavery. Right, read.
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
And we get to America?
With ships.
So the Lord said he's going to bring a certain nation of people back into slavery again with ships.
Right.
If I was to ask you what nation of people went into slavery by way of slave ship, what would you say? So-called Africans, right? The so-called African Americans. Would you agree? Now let's see what the Lord called the so-called African Americans in the Bible. Because when you read the Bible, you don't read about African. You don't see the word African American or Negro or nigger. The Lord has a specific name for our people. Let's read this.
It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 29 and verse number 1.
We know.
These are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses
So these are the words which the Lord commanded Moses, read on,
to make with the children of
no
Israel.
black people,
With the children of Israel.
Hispanic,
With the children of Israel.
Native American.
With the children of Israel.
So what did the Lord call us? The children of who? The children of Israel. That's right. The Lord called us the children of Israel, sister. So again, whenever somebody they try to call you black, African American, or you brother, somebody try to call you a nigger, hey, remember the Lord called you an Israelite.
Right.
Let's get Genesis 32 and 28. Do y'all know what the word Israel means, or what the name Israel means? Israel is a special name. It's a special name, a name that had to be earned. We're gonna see what the word Israel means in the so-called Bible. Let's read this.
The book of Genesis chapter 32 and verse 28.
Bring it out.
And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob.
Right, because you guys' names are what? Nigger, Negro, black. The Lord says your name is not that anymore. But what?
But Israel.
Or who?
But Israel.
But Israel. Right, read.
For as a prince hast thou power with God, and with men it has prevailed.
So the word Israel means a prince or princess that has power with God.
Right.
That's literally what the name Israel means. Brother, you're a prince.
Right.
Sister, you're a princess. You have to conduct yourself as so. Let's get 1 Peter 3 and 6. And let's get Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 and verse 1. Right, the Lord has specific laws and ordinances for his princes and his princesses. Now let's read this real quick.
1 Peter chapter 3 and verse number 6.
Right, you go into the blue letter for 1 Peter 3 and 6 and go to the word Sarah. Real quick. Let's read.
1 Peter chapter 3 and verse number 6.
You listening, sister? You listening, sister? All right, let's read it.
Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord. whose daughters ye are.
So the Lord said, since the Lord said that you will be a daughter of Sarah. Now we're going to go into the word Sarah real quick in the blue letter. All right, let me pull this up real quick. So the Lord said that you're a daughter of Sarah, whose daughter ye are. And while I'm pulling this up, let's read this.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse number 1.
Bring it out.
Hear therefore, O ye kings.
Oh, ye who?
O ye kings.
What is this, brother?
O ye kings.
You listening, brother? The Lord said that you're a king. All right, read that again from the top.
Hear therefore, O ye kings, and understand.
All right, read this real quick. All right, let me slide. Let me go to the right. First Peter 36. Go to that word, Sarah. So the Lord called you a king, brother. He said, listen, therefore, O ye kings. All right, read.
Learn ye that ye be judges of the ends of the earth.
You're supposed to be a king and a judge throughout all the earth. As your office as a king, brother, what do you think a king is supposed to do to keep that king in state and rulership? Being a leader, all right, what else? Okay. Did you know that a king has a specific office he has to follow? Guidelines that he has to do? That's a good question. You can hold, give me Deuteronomy 10 and 12. And let's read this for the sister.
It's the definition of Sarah in the Strong's G4564.
Remember, sister, the Lord called you an Israelite, a princess that has power with God. Called you a daughter of Sarah. Sarah is one of your foremothers. We're about to read about what Sarah is, or what the word Sarah means in the Hebrew. Because essentially, if you're calling yourself, or if you are a daughter of Sarah, you should want to carry that name that Sarah moved you. Let's see the name that Sarah called herself. Read this.
The biblical usage of the name Sarah. It means princess.
It means what?
Princess.
Say that again.
Princess.
So the word Sarah actually means princess, meaning that you will be a daughter of a princess. And likewise, sister, you have to know how a princess conducts herself and moves. Likewise with you, brother. Now let's go to Deuteronomy 10 and 12.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10, verse 12.
Bring it out.
And now Israel, what does the Lord thy God require of thee?
All right, sister, real quick, grab a flyer. Right, grab a flyer. That's lucky. Here you go, brother. All right.
I got one question.
What's up, brother?
What you're trying to explain to us, our divine being, like God's people.
What God's
that
people?
power.
Yeah, let's get Psalms 82 verse 6. Let's get Psalms 82 6. So essentially, brother, yes, you are a God.
Right.
Now, as a God conducts himself in a certain way.
Right.
A God is not gonna move like how everybody else is moving. Let's read this real quick.
This book of Psalms, chapter 82, and verse number 6.
Bring it out.
I have said, ye are God.
The Lord said,
Ye are God.
so the Lord said, ye are gods.
Right.
Talking to the Israelites. Brother, you will be a God according to the Bible.
Right.
A God means, the word God means power.
Right.
Remember, you are power.
Right.
A prince that has power with God.
Right.
So again, we're going to go into how a God, so a God-fearing man is supposed to move. Let's get 1 Corinthians 3:16. We can drop that. Let's get 1 Corinthians 3, verse number 16. So as a God-fearing man, are you being a God upon the earth? This is one thing a God, 3:16.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3, and verse number 16.
Yeah.
Know ye not that ye are the temple of God?
So first you have to recognize that your body is the temple of the Lord. The Lord literally dwells in you. That's how you get your power. When you read in the Bible, our forefathers, they had so much faith in the Lord. It's like they had powers. You have men building, bending steel. You have 3 men slaying thousands of other men. You have 1 man kill many so-called Philistines, Africans. We read the Bible. You had a man cause fire down from heaven and destroy 50 people. You can go in that history and find these things. You have men on that sun that did these things, the Israelites.
Right.
Why? Because they have power with God. But they moved a certain way. Let's read this.
And that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you. If any man defile the temple of God.
Read that again from the top.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3, and verse number 16.
How y'all brothers doing? Y'all straight? How you doing, man? How you doing, boss man? Read this.
1 Corinthians 3 and 16.
We're learning how to be gods. It's like we're learning how to be gods upon the earth. The Lord called us gods. Everybody that you see on that sign, a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man, would be God's chosen people, the Israelites.
Right.
So let's read this.
If any, know ye not that ye are the temple of God,
Right,
and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you?
right.
If any man defile the temple of God,
So the Lord said, if any man defiles his temple, read on.
him shall God destroy.
The Lord's going to destroy any man that defiles his temple. Your temple is your body. Now, what's 5 ways you can destroy your temple?
But they put shit there, bro.
Yeah, that's one. Tattoos.
Because it's manifestation what you put on your body.
That's right. That's right. The brother was going into it earlier. Tattoos open up demons and spirits.
Right.
I got one question about mine.
You said, what's your question?
What does he use for real?
So what does that mean?
I know just the eye of rod,
Right.
the eye of Posh.
Right. I mean, well, we can go into that. We can go into that. But I wanna touch on the first one. So, what's 5 ways you can destroy your temple? You said tattoos. What's another one? You said eating. Eating certain things, unclean foods.
Right.
That's another one. What's another one?
What you feed your mind?
What you feed your mind? Okay. That's one main thing that you're doing right now that you're missing. It's going over your head. Smoking.
Right.
Smoking.
Right.
That also defiles your temple. Right? Like you said, eating unclean foods, marking up your body, and also burning and contaminating your lungs. That's how you defile your body.
Right.
The Lord said, if any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy.
Right.
Remember, you're a holy vessel. You're different than everybody else. Let's get 1 Peter 2:9 real quick. Right, you brothers are different. Again, y'all are God's chosen people. You can't be moving like these people.
Right.
Right? You can't be moving like everybody else. Again, you're different. You're a holy vessel. Let's get that in Deuteronomy 7:6. Let's read this.
1 Peter chapter 2 and verse number 9. But ye are a chosen generation,
The Lord said that you guys are a chosen people, a chosen generation. Right, read.
a royal priesthood.
Hey, what?
A royal
The
priesthood.
Lord called y'all royalty. He didn't call everybody on the face of the earth royalty.
Right.
He called all people royalty. You know?
Right. And holy nation,
Right.
a peculiar people,
Right.
that ye should shoot forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness.
So the Lord said that we're holy, peculiar, different, set apart. And if we're all these things, why are we moving like everybody else?
Right.
Right? The so-called white man said, man, I'm gonna invent cigarettes, I'm gonna make GMO weed, and I'm gonna smoke it. Then what we did? We did the same thing.
Right.
Right? They said that they're gonna do A, B, and C, become homosexuals,
Right.
all this madness, and what happened? We got our people doing the same thing.
Right.
The Lord separated us for a reason.
Right.
Because we're different from everybody. We're a holy generation.
Right.
Read this.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6.
Bring it out.
For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Right.
The Lord thy God has chosen thee
Right.
to be a special people unto himself.
Read.
Above all people.
No eager.
Above all people.
Just average.
Above all people
Read.
that are upon the face of the earth.
So the Lord said that you guys are above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Right.
And therefore you have to act like you're above all people
Right.
that are upon the face of the earth. Now let's go to Leviticus chapter 11. This is how you act like you're above all people, by keeping God's commandments.
Right.
Right? The laws, the statutes. Let's get Deuteronomy 10 and 12 real quick before I get there.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10, verse number 12.
Right out.
And now Israel, what does the Lord thy God require of thee?
The Lord said, and now Israel. Again, you guys will be the Israelites. You wouldn't be black. The names that you see on that sign, so-called African Americans, West Indians, Haitian, Puerto Rican, etc. That's what the white man called you in slavery. What did the Lord call you? Before slavery. Israel, that's right.
Right.
Before our people went into slavery, you never knew that. And guess what? This is history that the Lord is bringing back in the last days.
Right.
Before slavery, before we was on the west coast of Africa, when we had our own country,
Right.
we were known as the Israelites.
Right.
Like the most powerful nation. I mean, just read the first 5 books in the Bible. You see how strong, you really see how strong our people were.
Right.
You had other nations fearing us. You read in the book of Joshua how the heathens was fearing us. Everybody knew our name.
Right.
Now look at us, at the bottom of society.
Man.
Yeah, that's right. We also made the pyramids.
Right.
Right, we made the pyramids as well. Now we're gonna touch on that again. Let's read.
And now Israel, what does the Lord thy God require of thee?
Right.
But to fear the Lord thy God,
Right.
to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul,
Right.
to keep the commandments of the Lord,
To do what?
to keep the commandments of the Lord.
So we have to keep God's commandments.
Right.
And then you guys named some commandments. You said eating abominable things. That's right. You said marking up your body. Let's get Leviticus 19 and 26 and Leviticus 11 and verse number 7.
The book of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse number 26. And it reads, ye shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall you use enchantment, nor observe time.
You was right, brother. Certain ways to defile our body. That's what it comes forth by the things we eat. You don't want to be eating blood, right? You got a steak and it's still raw. It's still raw on the inside. You got that pink. Yeah, like it's just like the so-called white man. He cook his food and it's still red on the inside. Take a bite, then blood dripping down. The Lord said that's a sin. You can't do that. It's life in the blood. All right, read.
Verse 27. Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard.
It's also a commandment for a man to grow out his beard. That shows that you're a man of God, right? And we read in the Bible Compact Dictionary, it says that's how you wait. It's like it says that's how you. I don't know how to put it, but a badge of manly dignity. That's what it is. It shows a badge of manly dignity when a man has his beard on his face. So you got certain brothers trying to grow their beard out. You know, some brothers already got a beard. Nevertheless, hey, Lord willing, I can get there soon. You know what I'm saying? Right, but read on.
Verse 28. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor put any marks upon you.
No tattoos. No tattoos. You got tattoos? So that's good. I see you got tattoos. There's a couple brothers up here with tattoos. Right, so brother got tattooed. But what happened? Brother Red, he learned he was an Israelite. He said, you know what? I can't do that no more. I can't sin against my God. Right, you know?
Nor put any marks upon you. I am Yahweh. Do not prostitute thy daughter.
I said on that. So those are basic commandments. Yeah, go ahead. Right, so again, those are what you call the basic commandments. These commandments are what's going to get you the kingdom of heaven. That was what, about 5 commandments? Are you willing to keep those commandments? No more eating, it's like not eating pork. No more tattooing up your body.
I always felt like I don't like the food we be eating and shit like that. Like I eat sea moss, I think sea moss and stuff like that, and herbs. It been helping me a bit because I noticed the meat we eat, they stress the animal out, they torture them, and energy doesn't die, it transfers. So we eat it stressed out that meat that consumes our mind, and that's why they say you are what you eat.
That's right. That the Bible even says that you can't strangle the animal to kill it. When you kill it, you just gotta kill it. You can't be damn torturing it and damn just doing God knows what to it. You damn molesting the animal before you kill it. That's off. Right. Again, that's what these people get into. I literally seen an article not too long ago. You got the so-called white men getting down with bestiality, making it legal.
That animal shit.
Yeah, they saying that it's legal for you to pop an animal. As long as you have a sexual relationship, you sign papers, it's legal. That's what the white man said.
That's kind of
that's madness.
of how the Nephilim
You said what?
They do it to the fish.
That's madness. Yeah, the so-called white man popping fish. Talking about, that's wicked. And again, that's why the Lord said we got to get out this place. And how do we get out? By keeping God's commandments. Leviticus 11.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 7. The swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you.
So the Lord said, and the swine is pork. Now, pork is what our people love to indulge in. The Lord said, no more pork. Right, read.
Of their flesh shall you not eat.
You said what? You gotta go? All right, brother, look into the information, all right? You need a flyer too? You good? Now, we got this flyer. Yeah, you can scan it, you can keep it. It's a bunch of QR codes.
Scan it. Put it on your phone.
Yeah, both y'all. Yeah, it's for you to keep. Right, it's for you to keep.
It's showing me that we're all waking up, bro.
That's
We're
right.
all fucking waking up, and I always felt so alone, bro.
That's right. No problem, brother. Now, keep looking into the information. You will be an Israelite. Y'all be Israelites, God's chosen people.
Right.
All right, gotta repent and keep the commandments. Now, back to you, brother. Remember, smoking defiles your temple. A God is not gonna smoke. A God-fearing man is not gonna smoke. Let's get Sirach chapter 21 and verse number 1. Right, let's get Sirach 21 and verse number 1 real quick. Let's get Psalm chapter 5 and verse number 5. And let's get Psalms 119 and verse 60. And let's read this.
The book of Sirach, chapter 21 and verse 1.
Right.
My son, hast thou sinned? Do so no more.
Right.
But ask pardon for thy former sins.
Right.
Flee from sin as from the face of a serpent.
The Lord said,
Flee from sin as from the face of a serpent.
the Lord says you want to flee from sin as from the face of a serpent. Again, sin is you smoking that, brother. You wanna throw that away. Why? Because that's gonna keep holding you back. That's a demon that love that's cleaving onto you, and you don't even know it. That's absorbing all your energy.
Right.
You put and look, brother, you already know you already know all these things, right? Don't strangle the animal, right? You know it, certain things that you can and can't eat already.
Right.
Yet you still got that one spirit cleaving onto you. That's called the lust of the flesh.
Right.
You want to throw away that lust of the flesh.
Right.
Right, we don't?
Flee from sin as from the face of a serpent.
Lord said you want to flee from that sin the same way you would flee away if you seen a snake. If you seen a damn snake just slowly crawling up your leg, I'm pretty sure you gonna run down the street. You gonna feel something, you gonna look down, you gonna look down your can and take off. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You gonna get up out of there. Turn to Usain Bolt.
I got it, man.
Brother, you might as well just throw it away in the street.
Right.
Just throw it away in the street.
You can do
Just
it.
let it go.
Yeah, you can do it, brother.
Let me get Romans 8:5. Hold on, stop. Come on, bro. Come on, no. All right, brother. You gonna throw it? Oh, you got it? All right. Got to stretch first.
Stop it out.
See it? Pick up.
Hey.
That's right. Now, brother, no more going back to that.
Right.
Again, that's the same thing that's keeping your people in sin. Let's read this. Romans 8:5.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 5.
Yeah.
For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh.
The Lord said, if you're after the flesh, you're gonna do everything that the flesh loves to do. Your flesh loves to smoke. It's that temptation. That's right. That's that temptation. Let's get that in. I believe that's James chapter 1 and verse number 12. So that flesh, brother, or that lustful feeling, that's what the flesh is gonna crave.
Right.
Right. Sex, sleeping from women to women, whoring out your sisters,
Right.
smoking, committing idolatry.
Right.
These are the things that your body loves to do. Right, read.
But they that are after the Spirit.
But what?
But they that are after the Spirit.
But a spiritual man, a man that's after the spirit, you know,
The things of the Spirit.
he's gonna mind the things of the spirit.
Right.
He's gonna be reading, trying to wake up his people. He's gonna be into a whole bunch of prayer, whole bunch of fasting, whole bunch of reading, whole bunch of studying, making signs, reading books to come out and wake up his people.
Right.
Where can I find these books?
Hey, Amazon, right? Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, right? You can find these books anywhere. Just look it up. They're gonna pop up.
Library.
Right, the library. You literally have the so-called white man putting out this information.
Right.
Now, before I ask you, what tribe do you come from? When you see yourself on that sign.
I'm Puerto Rican.
Well, you will be an Israelite from the tribe of Ephraim.
Right.
Right? You will be an Israelite from the tribe of Ephraim,
Right.
the top tribe of the northern kingdom.
Right.
Meaning that out of all the tribes, let's get Genesis chapter 49 and verse number 10. Genesis 48 and 10. We're going to read about Ephraim. Because again, like I said, your ancestors are written up in the Bible.
Right.
You have them. That's right. That's right. Now let's read this. Genesis chapter 48 and 10.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 48 and verse number 10.
Bring it up.
Now the eyes of Israel were dim for age,
Right.
so that he could not see.
Right.
And he brought them near unto him, and he kissed them and embraced them.
Right.
And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, and lo,
So Joseph will be your father in the ancient world, your ancient ancestor. You descend from a man named Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons. One of his sons was Joseph. Joseph had 2 sons. It was Ephraim and Manasseh.
Right.
You come from Ephraim, all the way to that descendants to this very day. So you have Israel talking to Joseph, read on.
I had not thought to see thy face, and lo, God has shewed me also thy seed.
Right.
And Joseph brought them out from between his knees,
Right.
and he bowed himself with his face to the earth. And Joseph took them both,
Right.
Ephraim in his right hand
He took Ephraim in his right hand, right, read.
toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand toward Israel's right hand.
Right, so you now have Jacob about to bless the sons. You have Ephraim and Manasseh. We're going to see which one the Lord blessed and made head over the tribes of the northern kingdom on another fold. Read on.
And brought them near unto him. And Israel stretched out his right hand.
Israel stretched out his right hand. Right, read the water, king. Thank you.
And laid it upon Ephraim's head.
He did what?
And laid it upon Ephraim's head.
So he had Joseph, he laid his right hand. Your right hand is your hand of strength, it's spiritual. So he laid his right hand upon Ephraim's head, right, read?
Who was the younger.
He said, and Ephraim was the younger one. Ephraim was the so-called liberal. You had Manasseh, he came out first, and then Ephraim. So he laid his hand on the youngest son. Right, read?
And his left hand upon Manasseh's head,
Right.
guiding his hand wittingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn.
Read.
And he blessed Joseph and said, God, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, that God would fed me all my life,
Right.
long unto this day.
Right.
The angel would redeem me from all evil. Bless the lands, and let my name be named on them, and the name of my fathers, Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth.
Right.
And when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim,
Upon the head of who?
upon the head of
From
Ephraim,
Manasseh.
upon the head of Ephraim.
He said all those things and laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim.
Right.
So your tribe is blessed, brother.
Right.
You come from a special tribe, the tribe of Ephraim.
Right.
The tribe of Ephraim are men of warriors,
Right.
men of renown. You see it? You got something?
Yeah, y'all fucking up my head, holy shit.
That's a lot.
That explains so much of why I am. I feel that way.
That's right.
And I'm different from everyone else. I feel it.
That's right.
And I get criticized. They're like, I ain't like that, right? But you know what? It's real. You know, I be around a lot of good people and they don't understand. I try to spread the message that there's more to life than just being in that box. You know?
Yeah, again, that's exact. Everything you saying it comes from the Bible. This is not Christianity.
Right.
That's not. Again, you go to the church. They're not going to tell you this.
Right.
They're going to preach white Jesus. They're going to play the music.
They're part of the agenda.
That's right. They're part of the agenda. That's why the Lord sent us out to preach the truth.
Right.
I mean, we done went into the history. We went into the. And you see, we got the books, and we got more books, right? We got more books, all over the place. But we mainly use the Bible, right? We got the maps. We got the history. The Lord literally revealed everything unto His servants. That's why we got to bring it out towards you, so you can bring it out towards everybody else.
I got one question.
Go ahead.
The David Star, right? Does that mean a soul stuck in the flesh? Is that what that means?
Something about this?
Meaning like, you know how we're divine God.
Yeah,
We're stuck in our flesh.
No.
That's not what it
That's going into idolatry. That's something totally different. Let's get that wisdom Solomon. Yeah, you're talking about let's go to wisdom Solomon real quick. Chapter, I believe that's 13 verse 2. So really what that's going into, that's just a lily.
Right.
Or you can say a lily or a pomegranate. Back in the ancient world, our ancestors, when they built up the temple, they had these different things. And the priests, etc., around the king, they had something called the lily, the flower. Let's get that in 2nd Ezra chapter 5 and verse number 22. The lily is the Lord's favorite flower. When you look at the image of a lily, it has a so-called 6 points. That's what this represents. The Lord's favorite image.
Right.
A lot of people like to say it's a star, Molech, or it means this or it means that. But ultimately, what the Israelites symbolize it for is for, again, just the lily, what the Lord's favorite color is. Favorite flower is. Let's read that real quick.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5, verse 22.
Bring it out.
And my soul recovered the spirit of understanding. And I began to talk with the Most High again.
Right.
And said, O Lord, that bears rule, and every wood of the earth, and all the trees thereof, thou hast chosen thee, one only vine.
Right, so it's now about to name the things that the Lord loves. The favorites of the Lord. Because you got to remember, the Lord is like us. We have favorites. We have a favorite pair of shoes, favorite flower, favorite type of tree. The Lord is the same way. He has a favorite tree, a favorite flower, a favorite landmass. So he's about to go into what the Lord's favorites are. Right, read?
Verse 24. And all the lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen thee one pit.
So out of all the lands, the Lord chose Jerusalem. That's his favorite landmass. Your homeland, Jerusalem. Right, read?
And of all the flowers thereof.
And of what?
And all the flowers thereof.
And of all the flowers thereof, read on.
One lily.
One what?
One lily.
That again?
One lily.
Can a brother pull up an image of a lily real quick? All right, let's pull up an image of a lily. So the Lord said, out of all the flowers thereof, He chose one lily.
Right.
The lily is the Lord's favorite flower.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna show you the image of a lily real
I
quick.
respect y'all a lot.
All praise to the Most
See
High.
how our own brothers and sisters just
That's
agree
good pictures.
and they just
One child. Some mighty pictures. Yeah, you can show them too. You see how this flower, you see that brother's got the photos out. That's a good one too right there. See how I got so-called 6 points?
I have those in my gardening.
Lilies?
They have dots on it. They have dots. Like,
Yeah, that's
it looks
literally
like
what
a
that
leopard.
is.
Yeah, but it's orange. It looks orange though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they, as you say, they come in different colors, etc. Right, they go orange
Yup,
one.
that one. Yup.
Yeah.
But it has dots on it. It has like a leopard. Like it looks like a leopard. It looks orange.
So right, and again, that's why the brothers they wear the lilies, or it's also you can also call it a pomegranate, because the fruit. Yeah, and the brothers of Allah got one right there too. Right, and then you got the fruit, the pomegranate, the stem. It looks the same way. So that's why my brothers rock that. Now let's read this real quick, because a lot of people say maybe a star, right? Maybe a star, maybe a damn star molech, some type of entity that connects the beings and traps it. Well, let's see what the Lord said. Let's read.
It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, and verse number 2. But deem either fire or wind or the swift air or the circle of the star,
No point.
or the circle of the star,
No triangle.
or the circle of the stars.
So the Lord said that the stars and the firmament and the sky that you see, they're circle. They're a ball of gas. This is not a circle.
That's crazy.
That's right. This is literally so-called. This has points on it. This can't be a star. The Lord said that the stars are circle. Right
Like the
now,
sun.
exactly like the sun. How you got a precept? Okay.
It was engraved on the temples as well.
That's right.
It's 1 Kings chapter 7 and 19.
it out.
And the chapters that were upon the top of the pillars were of lily work.
Were of what?
Were of lily work.
So literally on the temple, you had men that carved it out and they made it into a lily. It said, read that again.
And it says, 1 Kings chapter 7 19, and the chapters that were upon the top of the pillars
On the top of the pillars when they was building it.
were of lily work.
Right.
And the porch 4 cubits.
Right.
Right? And then if you look right there, on top of that building, that's a chapter. Right there, where you see that flag, right under that flag is a chapter. So you will see lilies engraved all around it. That's how that would look. It's right here.
Right.
That
Pretty
image
sure
was
we
something
built
like that.
that.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, we did build that. Let's get that in.
America.
Yeah, that's right. Let's get that in Exodus, the first chapter. And then I want to touch on your question you had about the tattoos. But let's get Leviticus 18 and verse number 1. And then you bring out what I want. Exodus chapter 1 and verse number 13.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 13.
Bring it out.
And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage. Verse number 11. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters.
It said that the children of Israel, the Egyptians, they set over us taskmasters. What does that sound like? If I'm working and then another man sets someone over me that's a master, what does that sound like? It sound like a slave. A taskmaster is another word for a slave master.
Right.
So we over here, we building, we working like you said, we literally build all these things.
Right.
And the white man is still our so-called slave master to this day. Look at it, he just stopped and blew off a puff of smoke. See that? And he don't give a damn.
That was real. It would take shape and form and
And he don't, and guess what, brother? He literally just blew up that smoke, literally in front of the holy congregation,
Madness.
letting him know that he don't give a damn about you.
Devil.
He don't care that he literally doesn't care if we started coughing.
Right.
Brothers got asthma. Brothers got these different infirmities. He stopped and said, and then peeled off, and then did this.
Madness.
That's off. Right, read it.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse number 11.
Bring it out.
Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens.
Right, and that's the spirit, because as we going into the so-called white man and what he did, he stopped, do that wickedness and peel off, and then
Right.
boast about it.
Right.
Right, read.
And they built for Pharaoh treasure city.
We did what?
And they built for Pharaoh treasure city.
What did we do with America?
And they built for Pharaoh treasure city.
It said, and we built for Pharaoh treasure cities.
Right.
Look at we literally built all of these, especially the so-called Northern Kingdom.
Right.
Right, you had the Hispanics. You guys were in captivity first in 1492. right when the so-called white man sailed from where he sailed from all the way over here, so-called Christopher Columbus, and he captured you guys. He went to the islands, raped, robbed, and murdered everybody. You got the image right here, right? You can come over here. You got a so-called, you got a Gadite, a Native American being slew and being killed by his people, right? Read on. That's it on that. That's it on that. Let's get Leviticus chapter 11 and 7, and bring us out in Leviticus 18. Now, on your question about the tattoos and the Egyptians, etc. Let's read this.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse number 1.
Bring it out.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord your God, after the doings of the land of Egypt.
So he said, speak unto the children of Israel. He's talking to us, everybody on that side. He said, after the doings of the land of Egypt. Remember, we just read that we was in slavery under the Egyptians. The Lord saved us with a mighty hand out of Egypt. So as we're in the wilderness, he's teaching us the commandments. Okay, don't eat pork, don't get tattoos. He also said, after the doings of the land of Egypt, you know,
Wherein ye dwelt,
wherein we dwelt, because we was in slavery under the Egyptians. Read.
shall ye not do.
Shall you what?
Shall ye not do.
Get them tattoos.
Shall ye not do.
So the Lord said, after the doings of the land of Egypt, as you see on your arm, that all comes from Egypt.
Right.
The Lord said, after the doings shall ye not do.
They said they also want to know why they're the best people on the face of the earth.
He said, why are we the best people on the face of the earth?
Yeah.
Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 10 and 12 again. Right? And we just going into it. Because we're the Israelites.
Right.
The Lord made us that way. We didn't ask to be that way. The Lord chose us.
Right.
And let's get that in 1 Corinthians 16 and 13. And Isaiah chapter 44 and verse number 1. Let's read it.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10, and verse number 12.
Bring it out.
And now Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee?
Let's go to 7 and 6.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse number 6.
Bring it out.
And it reads, 7 and verse 6, For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
So if you see yourself on that sign, you will be holy, set apart, different, a peculiar people. All right, read.
Unto the Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
He chose you to be special. Now, we was just talking about this. He said, I just felt like I was different. It was just something about me. Let's see how the Lord made us. Read on.
Above all people.
Above who?
Above all people.
That's racist.
Above all people.
The Lord chose one nation of people to be above everybody else. Read.
That are upon the face of the earth.
He chose us to be above everybody on the earth. So you're better than this woman right here.
Right.
You're better than her because the Lord said,
Right.
you're better than everybody, all these different nations walking past. How you doing,
Right.
sister? Y'all women for the Lord? Check this out 1 second. 1 second. You too, moms. 1 second. Right, so the Lord said that we're special people unto himself above all people. The Lord called us the Israelites. So you guys will be Israelites according to the Bible. Have y'all heard about the Israelites? What do you know about the Israelites? You said been there, done that? So what you know about the Israelites? Do you know that you're an Israelite?
I've been there, done that, like I said.
Alright, so you already know you gotta keep the commandments. No smoking, put on a dress, dress modest, you know. So you already know all that.
I know all that and more.
You said that more. So you see, brother. So you got certain people, you know, they wake up to the truth, but it's more to just knowing. So what's some actions that you gotta put forth, sister?
It's more than belief, mostly. More than just following the rules. It's more than first step is belief.
Go for it. He said, alright, that's one belief, but you also gotta have works.
Right, that is part of it.
Let's get 2nd Edges 9 and 7.
For me, it's the willpower that God gave me to decide what I want to do. When I, gave me that willpower. He gave us free will to decide if that's what we want to do.
You said God gave us.
He gave us all willpower, the will to come to him or not. Me,
Well, there's no such thing as free will.
Right.
yes, there is.
You sure?
Oh yeah, you're doing it right now.
This is not free will.
Right.
This is not me. Well, let's show. Let's go Proverbs chapter 20 and 24.
It's the book of Proverbs.
Chapter 20, verse 24.
Bring it out.
Man's goings are of the Lord.
The Lord said,
Man's goings are of the Lord.
I got my own free will.
Man's goings are of the Lord.
The Lord said man's goings are of him. So how is this free will if the Bible just said everything that I do is of the Lord?
Right.
And let's get Jeremiah 1 and 5.
It's still free will. If the thing but it's still free will.
So,
He give you.
well, let me ask you this.
opportunities to decide. He still make you let you have a choice.
All right, well, let's get
Because if you
let's
don't
get
have a choice, then I
let's
wouldn't
get Deuteronomy
say
chapter.
what I'm
Hold
saying
that.
right now.
Give me Deuteronomy 30 and 19. So you're right to an extent. You do have a choice, but it's not a choice that you think it is.
Right.
You only got two choices really. Let's read about those two choices real quick. Then we go hold Jeremiah 1:5.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30 and verse 19.
Right.
I call heaven and earth to record this day against you,
So you have the angels recording this day against everybody up here. You know?
Right.
that I have set before you.
The Lord has set this choice before us. Like you said, we got a choice. This is the only choice. We don't.
Life and death.
We don't.
Life.
Life and death. Blessing and cursing.
So we have life and death.
Right.
You got the blessings and you got the curses.
Right.
Right, read.
Therefore, choose life.
We got a choice.
Therefore, choose life.
I want to choose death.
Therefore, choose life.
Read.
That both thou and thy seed may live.
The Lord said you have two choices. Then he narrowed it down to one choice,
Right.
meaning life.
Right.
So do you really have a choice, or did the Lord say choose life?
Well, I made my choice. I choose God, but I don't.
What do you mean, but?
That man, I don't believe in words anymore. What? I just believe in God. That's all. That's me.
So you don't believe in the Bible.
Not really. Not
So what do you believe in then? If I was to ask you,
because I feel sometimes that's man-made, and anybody can put anything in there.
all right, hey brother, just in case you don't come back, did you get a flyer?
Yeah, I got the flight. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Lord willing, you do come back.
Thank you, bro.
Lord willing, you come
Bless
back.
y'all soul.
It's too.
Thank y'all. I really
praise to the Most High.
needed this. Stay strong. Stay
You too. And look into that information. Remember, what's your race?
Puerto Rican.
What?
Israel.
Israelite.
Right.
Israelite. Remember, not Puerto Rican, but Ephraim.
Right.
Ephraim. All right. So what's it again?
Israel.
That's right. Israel. Israelite from what tribe?
Israel.
That's right. Israelite. But from what tribe? Israelite from the tribe of Ephraim. So we got to remember that I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Ephraim. We got 12 tribes. Yeah, take a picture of that. And it's on the flyer. It's on the flyer. So remember, you got the 12 tribes of Israel from Ephraim.
I need to learn more about this because I'm trying to save my black brothers and sisters.
That's right. That's right. So look into it and keep coming out.
I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna just walk around. I gotta meet someone up. I'm gonna bring them here.
Hey,
Very
Lord
spiritual
willing.
person. I got you right now. Okay,
All right, all
brothers?
praise to
God
the
bless
Most
you.
High. God bless you, bro. All praise to the Most High. Now, back to you, sis. Now, sis, you said you really don't believe in the Bible. Do y'all feel the same way? Like y'all don't really believe in the
They
Bible?
don't. What you think? She believe in the Bible. Believe in the Bible, right? To an extent. She said she haven't read it.
Okay, that's understandable. Now let's say we don't believe in the Bible. Right? That's madness. Let's say we don't believe in the Bible.
See, for her, I wouldn't take that away from her because I want her to have her own experience and to read for herself and understand for herself. So I wouldn't tell her not to read. This is my niece, and I raised her. So I wouldn't take that away from her. But for me, because I'm 61, so I know for myself how I feel and what I believe and what I don't believe in.
Now, I
So
got a
I want
question.
her to grow up and understand what she don't believe in and what she believes in and why she don't believe in it.
Now let's say this. Now let's say you didn't believe in the Bible, like you said.
Right.
If somebody was to ask you what's your history prior to 1619, your nationality, your heritage, and your culture, what would you say?
I still would say that I'm black. I'm from Africa.
But the question was prior to 1619, meaning prior to slavery, because really those labels.
I would probably say I'm Nubian, but that
Nubian?
right there, I could say I'm a Pequot Indian. I could say all that.
I mean, you can say that, but what are you really? You can
Pequot
say.
Indians was the first Indians that was here. I can say a lot.
You can say a
What's
lot.
out here to go by.
You can say a lot, but what are you actually? I mean, you
That's
can't just say lies.
What would I do with
The so-called white man, if I was to ask him what's his nationality, he can damn near give me the street he came from and his ancestors. But you saying I can say I'm Indian, huh?
We don't know. We can only go by the color of my skin.
Isn't everybody brown skin except one race?
I said we can only go by the color of my skin at this point.
But what benefit does that do for us? Just going by the I'm brown,
Well,
right?
I'm going by that. Everybody can go by what they want to go to.
Well, sister, you going by black, but if you say that you're going by the color of your skin is not even black, so that's
No, it's
confusion.
brown. I'm saying that I know a
So your race is brown.
No, my race is originally black. Okay.
But again, nobody called themselves black, sister.
No, I know we call ourselves African Americans. We call ourselves
No,
African.
the white man called us African American. Where does the
Right.
term African American even come from?
Well, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I call myself African American. I'm here right
So you
now.
calling yourself by the name, by the last name of two white people, and you're
I
okay
call myself
with
African
that?
American because of my African descent and because
What is the
I'm
word-
American right now.
But what do those words come from? African
I see where
American.
they come from. Right now, that's how we identify ourselves.
Well, to sum it up, those names come from two different white men.
Right.
So you calling yourself? No, it's not. It's a fact. So you calling yourself by the name of two different white men? You're
You know
content with
what?
that?
Right,
I will
right.
not change it until
Isaiah
somebody
1:3.
prove me different. I'm not gonna change it.
Jeremiah 17:4.
That's the book of
Well,
Jeremiah.
hold on, sister. So I mean, I know you kind of proud, you puffed up, but nevertheless, we're gonna sincerely try to get you.
Unless somebody prove me different, I'm gonna keep it until somebody prove me different. That's
All right, all right,
Teach
all right.
us.
Let's read it.
So book of Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3.
Bring it out.
Drop that. Let's get Jeremiah 14:2.
There's the book of Jeremiah chapter 17 verse number 4.
Bring it out.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy heritage.
So I just asked you, what's your race? You said I can say I'm this, I can say I'm that, I can say I'm this color. Wait, hold on, let me finish. You said you named about 5 different so-called nationalities. Then you went to a skin color, meaning
Right.
you don't know. Being honest, you don't know.
Right.
So the Lord, read that part again.
And thou, even thyself,
Right.
shalt discontinue from thy heritage
Right.
that I gave thee.
So the Lord said one nation of people is going to discontinue from their heritage that the Lord gave them.
And that's
Right.
To who?
us.
Us. Okay.
I understand all
Okay.
that.
Now let's get
Yeah.
Jeremiah 14:2. The Lord, she said that happened to us. And you said that we're
People
so-called
of color, okay.
so-called black people, right?
Right.
All black people.
Okay.
Right. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 14 and verse number 2.
Bring it out.
Through the morning and the gates thereof language.
So the Lord said that the Jews are in language and in mourning. What nation of people are in mourning and in a saddest state in 2023?
Oh, we always have been and always will be.
Who?
To the end of this time.
Who will?
Us.
Who is us?
People of color.
So-called black people.
Right.
So-called black people.
Okay, that's the second witness out the Bible. Now let's
I
get.
believe part to that. Yeah, it's, the Bible. Some of it is prophecy, but all of it ain't true. Like certain men in the Bible. There was just recently a friend of mine. He just showed me.
Sister,
where-
you just agreed that, without even knowing, you just agreed that your race is a Jew.
I agree that. Yes,
So
I
you,
did.
so you know that you're. All right, hold on.
I ain't never denied that part of it. I just said that I don't believe in parts of the Bible.
But when I asked you your
We would've
race,
got it right.
but when I asked you just named, you
And I
named
said
5 different
African
races.
Americans, right?
And then we went to the Bible. The Lord called them
Well, I
the
have no
Jews.
problem with that, but just still, Jews or whatever, they call us alive in their Bible.
They call us alive.
Right, because people are from different nationalities. We're not just from Africa, we're from different parts of the world. A lot of us
Let's
black,
get
we're not
let's get
from
Mark.
black.
Let's get Mark chapter 6 and verse number 1.
Hey,
Let's get Mark 6 and
I believe what I
1.
believe, and that's the bottom
Now
line.
let's get
Y'all
Tobit
ready?
chapter 1 and verse 4.
Okay.
Real quick, since this is the last verse. You said that we're from everywhere.
Yeah, we from we got a lot of stuff inside of us right
But
now.
doesn't everybody have a specific
Yeah.
landmass and lot that the Lord chose for them? Let's get
uh,
Deuteronomy 32 and 7. Yes, sister. Let's read this.
This is the book of Mark chapter 6 verse number 1.
Bring it out.
And he went out of thence and came into his own
You gotta
country.
repent and keep God's commandments, sister.
Right.
How you doing?